Jake Paul's world just crumbled to pieces after he got himself arrested, and honestly, it's like watching the ultimate fall from grace. All that hype, all those years of building a brand as the loudest, most outrageous YouTuber and wannabe boxing champ, it's all gone up in smoke with one arrest. And we're not talking about some minor mishap like speeding or getting into a petty fight. Nope, Jake's got some serious charges that could keep him locked up with no bail in sight. His darkest secrets have been yanked into the public eye, and now everything is spiraling out of control. But the worst part, nobody's shedding a tear for him. The sympathy meter is stuck at zero, and you know. What's even crazier, the cause of Jake Paul's arrest isn't some random scandal. No, it all ties back to that infamous press conference on August 18th. Remember that day? The one at the Jacob Javits Center in New York City, where everyone thought it would be just another over-the-top hype fest for his big fight with Mike Tyson. Well, it quickly turned into a circus from the moment Jake swaggered onto that stage. Something was off. Jake's always been the king of trash talk, but this time he went too far. He thought it'd be a brilliant idea to take a jab at Tyson's illness. Yep, you heard that right. Jake stared Tyson down and actually had the nerve to mock him, saying,
"You had to go on your little menopause break and postpone the fight, so yeah. What about that, dog? I was ready before. You needed a little break. Your tummy hurt? Your tummy?"
The whole room was silent, as if everyone were holding their breath to process what they had just seen. Even Jake's diehard fans were probably thinking, dude, you didn't just say that. But Jake wasn't done digging his own grave. He doubled down, puffed out his chest with his trademark arrogance, and made the bold announcement,
"I'm here to make $40 million and knock out a legend. I don't give a fuck about anything else." And he's the one that wanted it to be a pro fight, so he's gonna get his ass knocked out real.
Don't worry about honor, respect, or the sport itself. There was no doubt in Jake's mind that he was only interested in making money off. Tyson is just another pawn in Jake's never-ending drive for money and fame. And let's be honest, Jake has never really been about getting better or learning from a legend like Tyson. He's only ever cared about staying in the spotlight, keeping the buzz going, and stroking his ego. At the same time, Tyson was having real health problems. He really should have quit the fight, but he didn't. Instead, he just took a moment to turn around and face Jake when he was fully recovered.
Correct. Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. Jake Paul KOs Mike Tyson. I'm not here to do shit besides make a bag.
Jake didn't want to get better in the ring, though. Remember when he dared Mike Perry to a fight that wasn't about getting better or growing? It was just another way for him to stay in the news. Your rise to fame as a boxer, Jake Paul, has been like a soap show. There have been so many dramas and scandals that you wonder if any of it is real. Yes. His confidence and huge social media following have kept him in the public eye, but let's not ignore the whispers. No shouts from fans and boxing experts who have called out the shadiness of his wins, especially those oh-so-convenient TKOs that make everyone roll their eyes and wonder if Jack was really the winner.
Be in good shape because your health depends on it.
Hey, you're the one that wanted 8 2-minute rounds. You want to make it 10
In the world of professional boxing, where every punch can be the difference between glory and defeat, the referee's job is the ultimate authority. However, when it comes to Jake Paul's wins, those refs have had people raising their eyebrows more than once. For example, his fight with Tyron Woodley on August 29, 2021 finished in a TKO, but it felt more like a magic trick than a legit boxing match. Woodley, known for being one of the hardest fighters out there, suddenly finds the fight stopped in his tracks. The whole event felt suspiciously like it was orchestrated to keep Jake's face from hitting the mat. And then there's the weird spectacle versus Ben Askren on April 17, 201-21, another TKO. Another round of what just happened as Ron, a former MMA champion, barely hit the floor before the ref swooped in to call the fight. It was like watching a ref put training wheels on Jake's career, making sure he stayed upright no matter what. Fans and critics alike were left questioning whether these wins were truly earned or if they were just part of a larger plan to protect a rising star with shaky credentials. This isn't just a small cloud hanging over Jake's career. It's more like a looming storm that threatens to rain on every parade he tries to throw, and Mike Tyson, the man who's seen and done it all, wasn't about to let this slide. So when Tyson announced the knockout-only rule for their upcoming clash, it wasn't just a tweak. It was a challenge. Tyson was saying, let's see what you're really made of. No shortcuts, no handouts. But Jake, let's just say he wasn't too thrilled the crowd victory, and Jake, he totally lost it. He seized the mic and released a TI rage that had nothing to do with boxing and everything to do with his fragile ego.
Shut the fuck up, New York. Hey, boo yourselves. Boo yourselves, New York. Hey, New York, New York, New York, you're just like Mike Tyson. You were good 20 years ago. Fuck you, New York. Fuck you. Dumbass Democratic City.
This wasn't just an outburst, it was a meltdown that showed exactly how frightened he was about fighting under Tyson's rules, where there was no place for the ordinary. Shenanigans had him panicking. His usual swagger was gone, replaced by a desperate attempt to retake control in a situation that was slipping through his fingers. What made it worse was how Jake had talked about such a big game before. During the negotiations, he was all about fighting on Tyson's terms, making bold claims about stepping up to the challenge. But now faced with the reality of those terms, he was backpedaling faster than anyone could have imagined. The bravado
Hello?
Jesus. This is fun.
The charges were for breach of contract and potential fraud, all tangled up in the legal web. Mike Tyson's team had spun the arrest with Swift completely out of the blue, leaving Jake and pretty much everyone else stunned. 1 minute he's a carefree surfer dude, the next he's being hauled off looking less like the brash YouTuber turned boxer we're used to and more like a kid caught with his hand in the cookie jar. And if you thought that was the end of it, think again. The whole Tyson has never been one to back down from a fight or let someone get away with disrespect. But here's what happened when Jake humiliated him at that press conference and then tried to wriggle his way out of their agreement. Tyson didn't go off the rails. He didn't let the old angry Tyson take over. And why not? Tyson's learned a thing or two over the years about keeping his cool even when every instinct tells him to throw hands on the show. Tyson put it in his standard non-nonsense style. "I'm a straightforward person," he declared, his voice bearing the weight of 1,000 battles. Jake's bad talk didn't faze him. Tyson's been through hell and back. There's nothing Jake Paul could say that would even make him blink. But what really got under his skin was Jake's blatant disregard for their agreement. For Tyson, this wasn't just about boxing. It was about being a man of your word, and in Tyson's world, your word is everything. Now, Tyson could have easily let his temper flare. We all know what happens when Mike Tyson gets mad, but instead of letting go.
Learn from prior experience. When that tough guy Mike Tyson comes out, when it's not necessary to come out, I'm always in handcuffs. So I'm very careful when that guy...
Tyson admitted referencing that side of him that used to settle disputes with his fists, no questions asked. That's the Tyson who ruled the ring and didn't take any nonsense. But that's also Tyson who's well aware that flying off the handle has landed him in hot water more times than he can count. He even confessed.
Drink, get ready to get in a fight, I break out in handcuffs.
But
It's a stark reminder of just how fine the line is for Tyson between staying in control and letting things run out. He's lived a life where one wrong move could send everything crashing down. So when Jake started acting up, Tyson made a deliberate choice. This wasn't just about keeping Jake in check, it was about keeping his own problems at bay. Tyson's choice to handle things legally was his way of showing that he's learned from the past, that he's not going to let Jake Paul